Today I want to show you how to manipulate men into loving you. And I want to show you how to manipulate men in a positive way, in a loving way, and in a way that allows you to make him fall in love with you and maybe also to motivate him to bring the garbage out. So please be nice to us, men. We are also human beings just like you. And I hate it, to be honest, when somebody says that manipulation is bad. You are manipulating whenever you are communicating. You can manipulate somebody in an ethical way. I mean, think about a small child that looks at you with tears in his eyes and then you give him the cookie and bam, a smile. It wasn't really sad. It was just manipulating you into giving him what he wants. And I mean, let's be honest. If in the end he gets you and you make him happy, I'm totally okay with the fact that you used these evil manipulation techniques. The first tip I have for you to manipulate men into loving you: ask him to lift heavy stuff for you. One of the best ways to get the attention of a man is to make him feel manly. And one of the easiest ways to make us feel manly is when you appear a little bit helpless. Of course, you are not helpless. You're an independent woman. You can take care of your own business. But it just makes us feel so manly and so needed. Men want to feel needed. I mean, even when my girlfriend, for example, when she asks me to open a glass of mustard, because she can't open the glass of mustard. Or maybe she just doesn't want to because she knows how to manipulate me. Yeah, maybe I have to talk with her about that. But even if she does this, just a freaking glass of mustard, a small glass of mustard, that already has a huge effect. It's weird and I can't really explain it. But for some reason, it combines these aspects of you are needed and you are manly for doing this for me. And this is one of the easiest ways to manipulate him into loving you, into caring about you, and into releasing his protector instinct for you, which will make him like you even more. And you can use the Filipino tampo technique. If you've never heard of tampo, well, I have Filipino friends, and here's what tampo is all about. In the Filipino culture, this refers to behavior in which a person withdraws his or her affection or cheerfulness from a person who has hurt his or her feelings. My Filipino friends always say it's silent treatment, what women do, and it has a huge effect on men. This drives us crazy. If we're really into a woman and we've done something that hurt her, and she then uses tampo by basically just not talking to us, this drives us crazy. If you do that with a man and you want him to fall in love with you, and you do that when he does something a little bit negative or something you don't like, he will do everything to make it up to you. Believe me. He will ask you, are you okay? Everything okay? Everything okay? And he will fall for you faster. But he will only fall for you if you avoid the 3 biggest mistakes that so many women make. And if you want to know what these mistakes are so that you don't make them on the first date with him, then you have to check out the link in the description and get my free report. And another great way to manipulate men into loving you is to give him compliments. We human beings are more likely to do things for people when we like them. And as I already said, believe it or not, but men are also human beings. I'm not an alien, I'm a human being. And if you give him compliments, if you let him know that you like his jacket, that you like his personality, that you like his style, he's way more likely to do things for you. And then be a bit jealous, but not too much. There's a very fine line between him saying, yes, she really likes me, she's a little bit jealous, oh yes, haha, I have a chance, she likes me, and between, oh my god, she's so jealous and controlling, I have to run. There's a fine line between that. But if you show him a little bit that you care, if you show him that you are a little bit jealous when he's talking to other girls, he will get the feeling that you're invested in the relationship and he will like you more for it. But, and that's a very, very big warning, don't make him jealous. And I know this goes against everything that mainstream magazines, mainstream websites, mainstream blogs and podcasts tell you about how to manipulate men or how to make men fall in love. I've read it and I've heard it over and over again that they give the advice to make men jealous. And I give you one tip, don't do it. Really don't do it. I don't say this because I want to protect other men from this. I say this because it's really true. I've had so many female Skype coaching clients who made this exact mistake and who listened to the mainstream dating advice columns, to the mainstream dating coaches, and they said, yeah, make him jealous, text with other guys, flirt with other guys. This pushes him away faster than you can say manipulation. You just have to believe me. And if you don't believe me, try it out and you will see. But I promise you, if you do that more than once, or maybe even if you do it once, you will lose him. Because there's nothing that makes men angrier than when the woman that we want flirts with other guys. You can either ignore it, you can say, Sebastian, that's not true, you have no idea what you're talking about, but then, challenge me. Do it and see what happens. I would highly, highly suggest that you don't try to make him jealous. But you should show your vulnerable side. Let's say you have a fight or a little argument or a disagreement. What you can do is to show your vulnerable side. You don't have to start crying immediately, but you just show him your emotions. Let him know that you're upset. And even if you have a really bad fight or a really bad disagreement and you start crying, God, I can't see a woman cry. I just can't do it. If I see a woman who's crying, I get emotional, I want to help her, I want to support her. And that's really why I want to say, if you use this technique, show your emotions, but don't over-exaggerate it. Because if he finds out that you actually only cried on purpose, he will not believe you in the future and the trust might be broken. And this is something that you should keep in mind while listening to this. When you think about manipulating a man, there's a fine line between ethical manipulation, where you use psychological techniques to get what you want from him, to make him fall in love with you, and between lying to him. Because if you use lies and he will find out, and eventually everyone finds out, then the relationship will fall into pieces. And then the next point, I call it, do I really have to mention it? And I think you already know what I'm talking about. Yep, in the bedroom. That's the easiest way to manipulate men. And this reminds me of an episode of Scrubs, like this TV show with the doctors that's really funny. It is one of my favorite TV shows. Okay, that was a weird way of describing it, the TV show with doctors that's really funny. In one episode, Turk and Carla want to have another baby. Or let's say Carla wants to have another baby. And Turk just says always, yeah, sure. And then at some point, she confronts him, do you really want to have another baby? And he just says, you are always asking me when you are naked. What do you expect me to say? So if you do this, of course, you can easily manipulate him. When you don't wear clothes, you can ask him anything you want. He will do it for you. And you can touch him in a loving way. You see, manipulation doesn't have to be bad. Just make him feel good. Give him a hug. Give him a kiss on the cheek. Let him know that you care. If you care about him, he will be more likely to do what you want. And this is a beautiful way of manipulating him. Because in the end, you both get what you want and you both feel good about it. And you might even want to send mixed signals. If 1 minute you're totally into him, then you back off a little bit again, then you're totally into him. This drives us up the wall. But again, like with all the other techniques I share, be careful. Don't overdo it. Otherwise, he will lose trust in you and then he will run away from you. And he will also run away from you if you say this one thing that reminds men of their punishing mother. And unfortunately, so many women say this on the first date with a guy without even realizing it. And if you want to avoid this mistake that so many women make, and that makes men who were ready to commit change their mind, then you have to check out the link in the description and get my free report. And another technique you can use to manipulate men into loving you is to praise him for the things he does well. Don't lie. Manipulation should not lead to lies because, like I said, lies will destroy your relationship. But if you praise him for a thing that he does really, really well, for example, he might be a good kisser, tell him that he's a good kisser and he will like you more. He will also kiss you more, so be careful that it's actually true. Because if you lie to him, well, now you told the guy who's not a good kisser that he's a good kisser and he will kiss you more. Heh, big mistake. Another thing you can do to manipulate men into loving you is to use the "a good man does" statement. This is really, really mean, I have to be honest, because men deep down we want to be good men. And if you then tell him just casually, "A good man does this, a good man does that, a good man does this, a good man does that," it sends the signal to our brain that, hey, she expects a good man to do this, so I should do this. And then he's way more likely to do it for you. And experience with him what he wants to experience. We human beings are more likely to do favors for others who we bond with. And one way of bonding is by having the feeling that we are compatible. So if you engage in the same hobbies that he's engaging in, and if you try the same things that he wants to try, or if there's something that he wants to do with you, and you say, hey, yeah, we can try that out. Why not? For example, if he's really into sports, if he likes to go to the gym, but you don't like it so much, you say, yes, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym with him. And he will be like, oh yes, this woman wants to be a part of my life. She doesn't like it, but wow, she does that for me. That's awesome. And it can be anything else. Maybe he loves to read books and you go to a book club with him. Maybe he loves to, even if he likes a certain video game and you say, hey, okay, I'm gonna play this video game with him. Experience with him what he wants to experience with you. And he will be so much more likely to do what you want him to do and to fall in love with you because you're bonding with him. And the last tip I have for you, you might not want to hear it, but I have to share it anyway. Be careful with manipulating men. I have to put this warning sign like brow, 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 warning, warning, warning. I believe that communication, at least to a certain extent, always includes manipulation, even if it's just a little bit. Everyone uses manipulation to a certain extent. However, if you overdo it, and especially if you lie, it will backfire. So all the tips I shared with you can be used in an ethical way without being dishonest. Because lying would be a big, big mistake that will destroy the relationship in the long run. And if you actually want to avoid to destroy the relationship with a high quality man before the relationship even starts, then you have to download the free report that I put in the description for you. Because this report will reveal the 3 biggest mistakes that women make when it comes to men. And these mistakes make it impossible for any man to commit to you. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.